What's up guys, Nathan here, and today I'm going to teach you the #1 tip to quickly skyrocket your poker winnings. So in my experience, having coached hundreds of students at these small and mid-stakes games, I can tell you that there is one thing in particular that separates that handful of elite winning professional poker players from everyone else. It was the #1 thing that helped me finally propel my results to the next level when I was able to finally quit my job because my results started improving dramatically. What is this one thing? It is when I finally learned how to eliminate my devastating tilt problem once and for all. I have found without a doubt that this is the #1 thing that holds people back at the poker tables. This is getting frustrated, angry, hot under the collar, you name it, when you get a series of bad beats, coolers, so-called setups, especially when you get a number of them within a short period of time. And when I finally learned how to start fixing this in my own game, as I'm going to teach you in today's videos, this is when I started seeing my graphs finally going up and to the right in the correct direction, and I started seeing a lot more profit at the poker table. And how did I learn how to do this? I simply taught myself to start reacting better in the moment than other players, than my fellow poker players at the table. I learned how to not allow bad beats, so-called bad beats, to affect me so much. Let me give you an example. You raise it up with 2 red aces. Great hand, obviously. Somebody's raised it, you re-raise big pre-flop, as you should. You've watched my pocket aces videos on this channel already. You've read maybe some of my poker books. You know how to play this hand. This person, they go ahead and make the call. The flop comes down with an 8 of spades, king of clubs, 4 of hearts. You bet, they make a raise, you jam over the top, and lo and behold, they flip over pocket fours. They hit their lucky 4 on the flop, and you are frustrated. You know that you've got 5% chance to win the pot, and this is yet another bad beat, and it could set you off the rails, playing poorly, perhaps giving away more of your money, making bad bluffs, making hopeless calls. You probably know what I'm talking about. However, we have an option here. You always get to choose. This is what a lot of people fail to understand about a situation like this. A lot of people just go sort of on an automatic emotional system. They allow their emotions to take control of them in the moment like this, instead of learning how to control those emotions themselves. In a spot like this, you have to understand that you and you alone always get to decide how you react here. Are you going to fly off the handle like most people do and curse the poker gods and claim that the poker site is rigged and all that, and start making a lot of crazy bluffs and bad calls and all that kind of stuff? Or are you going to be in that very small handful of elite winning pros that are able to handle their emotions better and take a bad beat like this in stride? Let's talk about how we're going to do this. Well, let's think through the hand logically. This person played their hand poorly, let's face it. You know, raising pocket fours pre-flop is certainly a standard play, but when you get re-raised big before the flop, it's almost always a bad idea to call in a situation like that. You almost never have good odds, especially if the stacks are 100 big blinds or less, and you know that you're basically always behind pre-flop in a situation like this, and therefore it is usually only amateurs and recreational players that are going to call with a hand like pocket fours here. Because as the famous saying goes, a fool and his money are soon parted. But the beautiful thing about poker, of course, is that even fools get to get lucky sometimes. Guys, I've talked about this in many videos before. This is what keeps them coming back for more. I've called this the fish tax. I've called it a bunch of other things. And we need to understand that is that when this player goes to the flop with their pocket fours, they still have that 8.5% chance or whatever it is to hit their lucky 4 on the flop, and it's going to come through exactly 8.5% or whatever it is at the time. So we have to understand that this is reality, but once again, we get to choose how we react when that happens. So you need to ask yourself, how will you react? Will you decide to choose serenity, peace, calm, to choose acceptance and moving on from the hand, or are you going to make this a big deal and let this roll through your head like 99% of poker players do, and not only allow yourself to lose this hand, but to screw up your results royally in future hands? I hope you guys can see how this is a big problem. If you learn to make that mental shift right now, you can prevent massive loss that are totally unnecessary in future hands. So number one, choose the knowledge that even though you lost this hand, you outplayed them. We already talked about how, raising pocket fours and then calling a big raise pre-flop is simply a play that only amateurs make, because the straight math tells us that that is a losing play. So we can choose to believe in the long-term math, odds, and statistics instead. You can simply just run these hands through Poker Tracker. I'll have links to that in the description below, and you can see the results for yourself. That these players do not win over the long term, that they are absolutely punished over the long term for their bad plays like this, and therefore you can also choose to not take it so personally when they happen to get lucky against you. You can also learn to understand poker from the wider lens of a long-term game. We don't play this game for individual hands, individual days, or even individual weeks. As I've mentioned in these videos many times before, real professional poker players are only interested in their results over the period of months or years. A lot of the time, I've said before, as a pro, I don't even look at my results often from day to day and sometimes even week to week, because I understand they are not important. I know that I'm playing this game for the results of thousands and tens of thousands of hands, not one hand like this. So I know that I don't need to obsess over one individual hand like this, or obsess about one bad player who happened to get lucky against me, because that's what a lot of other people will do, is they will focus on that one bad player and try to, quote unquote, get back at them, which is another losing strategy, because you can't force things in poker, guys. People are going to get lucky sometimes, and that's simply the way that the math is built into the game to keep the bad players coming back for more, and you never need to take it personally. So guys, the biggest lesson to take from this video is to challenge yourself to react better in the moment. Next time you get a bad beat, next time you get some sort of cooler, you have pocket kings, they got pocket aces, we've all been there. It's going to happen, guys, but the only thing you need to ask yourself is, how are you going to react in the moment? Are you going to go throw away your money, get all frustrated like 99% of other poker players, or are you going to be in that handful, that 1 or 2% who chooses to react better, who chooses to react with a calmness and a deeper understanding of why we're playing this game? We're playing this game for our long-term results. We're not getting obsessed and wrapped up and married to the results of individual hands. We're really focusing instead on the process. This is how elite winning professional poker players approach and think about the game. And if you can train yourself to start reacting in that manner, step by step, it's just baby steps. It's not something, you're going to learn to do overnight. But if you challenge yourself to start making small incremental improvements to your mental game to react better in the moment versus bad beats like this, I think your results are going to improve, not just incrementally, but dramatically. At least they did for me. Let me know in the comments below if tilt is a problem in your poker game and how you intend to fix it. And if you guys want to see more poker strategy videos like this, both mental videos like this and also strategical videos, make sure you're subscribed to the channel here, and also shove all in on that like button below if you found this video helpful. And lastly, make sure you grab a copy of my free poker cheat sheet. That'll be the top link in the description below. That'll give you my entire strategy to start crushing the small and mid-stakes games. Finally, I'll leave another video that I made just recently right here that I think will help you guys out some more. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. This has been Nathan Williams with BlackRain79.com.